let's talk about the Noodle program. What is Noodle? Let's start there.
At its simplest, Noodle is a business accelerator program that's been shaped for young people, students from grade 7 through grade 12. They would come with an idea, develop it as a business, and pitch it for the potential to earn $10,000 in seed funding. And the philosophy behind it was to start to have girls see themselves in the role of an entrepreneur. So there's the building of skill, but the development of mindset is super, super important. We wanted students to come up with ideas that were real businesses that you would make mistakes, real businesses that would fail, and at every point you're learning what it means to be an entrepreneur. So we had about 45 teams of students that pitched ideas. And there was a panel, they pitched to faculty, they pitched to employees, and so we had 9 amazing teams. And so these 9 teams that became our Noodle 9 then participated in a 16-week curricular program. We had a virtual pitch competition with external judges who were entrepreneurs. Through that pitch competition, we had our final winner, which was awarded $10,000 in seed funding to invest in that business and continue to take it forward.
That's such an amazing and unique opportunity, I think, in a K-12 context that's very unusual. With the Chandaria Research Center, I think it was a great opportunity for us to capture what that experience was like for the students. And so there was a research project that accompanied the first cohort of the Noodle program. And what we did with collecting data is we interviewed some of the students and the teachers that participated in the program, and we also collected their learning artifacts, and then we also have footage of them actually going through the different modules and working through like their R&D process and all of that. And so there's a few kind of key findings that I wanted to chat with you about and kind of reflect on how the first year of the program went. And the things that I wanted to touch on specifically is the true kind of importance of the experiential experience. The students really appreciated how real it felt. The other thing was the way that the program was structured using design thinking, I think was also really helpful in helping students understand what entrepreneurship is and what the process of developing a product is. And third, the importance and impact of developing a network and learning how to draw on your network to be able to succeed in a business. So we hear a lot about experiential learning and how important it is to gain 21st century skills, and what a great opportunity for students to actually have a real experience.
Yeah, this is fundamental for a few reasons. Students know when something is purely academic. And we know as educators that students engage more when they feel that it's real world or it's somehow connected to the real world. And so in creating a business accelerator for students, it had to have elements of real world. Otherwise, there's no sense of connection. The ideas they pitched to us had to be able to actually generate profits. And we coupled that concept of profits with purpose. We also gave them real world tools, which is something we do at the school even outside of the Accelerator program. So rather than using tools that have been simplified for students, we give them access to real 3D printers. We give them access to real laser cutters. We use real computing languages for them to flush out their products. They know that work they're doing is not an academic exercise.
One of the things that made it feel like a real experience for the girls that they mentioned in the interviews is the fact that there was a competition to get into the program. So I think for them, that made it feel like it was a really prestigious thing to participate in and that the adults were taking it seriously. At the same time, they're experiencing kind of emotions about it, where it might be a little bit scary. But I think that that's part of the realistic experience of what being an entrepreneur is actually like, right?
We knew that most, if not all, of the ventures would fail, and that the success or the measures of success was going through the process. So in making it authentic from a competitive perspective, we balanced that for the students. But having that competitive element and getting comfortable with that uneasy feeling, it's important to learn that at a young age. And so the skills that they're learning foundationally, even if they don't go off and create their own businesses, allow them to innovate in whatever career they end up taking, allow them to take risk, allow them to approach problem solving quite differently, as if they are entrepreneurs. And that was another pillar of what we were trying to do and scaffold in the learning for the students.
I think that message really got across because in one of the interviews with one of the participants from Clinical Connections, she was talking about how she used to think that she wanted to be a doctor, but now she realizes that there's so many other things you can do and still be in healthcare, and you could be kind of more creative and try to make money and really draw on that entrepreneurial side. So that's really exciting.
Yeah, I think it's a nice segue into the second part of your research, which is the design thinking. Design thinking is something that we teach the students here in a variety of classes. And as an entrepreneur, it's so important as well because it allows them to go from idea to gathering requirements of your users or your customers. Building empathy, like really understanding who am I developing this product or service for. Prototyping, better done than perfect. Then testing that, so market testing, which is why we have the students sell, which is why we have them test their ideas with other students or other adults at the school or adults that are outside of the school. And then taking the feedback from that testing and feeding it back into that design cycle again. And that's been highly successful for the kids to see how the design cycle itself can be applied in entrepreneurial ventures.
What I can see from the data is that they really learn some concrete skills around like research and development and financial kind of skills, but then also kind of more what you would call soft skills, so creativity, problem solving, critical thinking, communication. All of those were huge. The thing that stood out for me most importantly, I think, especially through the student interviews, was the idea of social capital, so the networking piece. Again, it's not something that you'll just use as an entrepreneur. In any job that you're going to be applying to, building a network, a professional network, and learning how to use that network is a very important skill, especially going forward when jobs kind of become more different and not traditional.
One of the things that we had envisioned for the program, but COVID really prevented us from stepping into it, but we will step into it in future cohorts, was the ability for us to take kids to entrepreneurs, so let's go look at a venture, but also to take them to local entrepreneurial meetups, and then being able to have conversations about their business ideas. No business idea emerges in stealth and in secret and with one person in a room. It emerges by being able to talk with other people and seeing reaction and hearing about other things and connecting those dots. And that happens in community. And having students become comfortable in using their voice and developing agency as entrepreneurs.